What if I told you that right now, at this very moment, you're carrying invisible weight that's crushing your spirit, stealing your joy, and robbing you of the life you deserve? And here's the kicker, you put it there yourself. Every harsh comment someone threw at you, every sideways glance, every backstabbing remark, you picked it up, you held onto it. And you've been dragging it around like a ball and chain ever since. But what if there was a way to drop all of that weight right now? What if you could walk away from every insult, every betrayal, every painful moment, and actually feel lighter by the end of today? Stay with me because the story I am about to share will completely change how you handle difficult people and tough situations for the rest of your life. And at the end, I'm going to give you a powerful 60-second ritual that will help you release all that emotional baggage you've been carrying for way too long. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. So let's dive in. There was this guy named Thomas who lived in a small town tucked away in the rolling hills, the kind of place where everybody knows everybody and nothing much changes. Thomas was a good-looking, strong guy on the outside, but on the inside, he was falling apart. Now he wasn't weak or cowardly, nothing like that. His problem was different. He couldn't let things go. Somebody cut him off in traffic, he'd be fuming for hours. A coworker made a snide comment at lunch. He'd replay it in his head all week. His neighbor gave him attitude. Thomas would fire right back and then lose sleep over it that night. People thought he had anger issues, but the truth was way deeper than that. Thomas wasn't angry, he was exhausted. Exhausted from carrying around every single hurtful thing that had ever happened to him. See, Thomas had this way of thinking about pain. Whenever someone said something cruel or did something that hurt him, he imagined it like a rock being thrown at him. And instead of dodging it or letting it bounce off, he'd pick up that rock and stuff it into an invisible backpack he carried everywhere. Day after day, month after month, year after year, that backpack got heavier. Pretty soon, Thomas was walking around hunched over, moving through life like he had the weight of the world on his shoulders, because in a way, he did. He stopped noticing the good things, the sunrise over the hills, the sound of kids laughing at the park, the smell of fresh coffee in the morning. Everything felt gray, even on the brightest days. His face was always tight, his jaw always clenched, and his heart, well, his heart felt like it was made of stone too. One cold Saturday morning, Thomas woke up and couldn't take it anymore. He needed to get out, clear his head, breathe some fresh air. So he grabbed his jacket and started hiking up the trail that wound up the mountain behind town. The air was crisp. The sky was that pale kind of blue you only see in early morning. And the only sounds were birds chirping and the crunch of gravel under his boots. But even out here, surrounded by peace and quiet, Thomas felt heavy. That invisible backpack was weighing him down with every step. After about 20 minutes, he noticed someone else on the trail, an older man, probably in his 70s, coming up the path with a small bundle of goods tied to a rope slung over his shoulder. The guy looked like he was barely carrying anything. His face was relaxed, he was humming some old tune, and he moved like he didn't have a care in the world. When the old man got close, he slowed down, gave Thomas a friendly nod and said, "Hey there, friend. You look like you're carrying the weight of the world. That pack must be killing you." Thomas let out a long sigh. "Yeah, you could say that. I've got a lot of rocks in here." The old man raised an eyebrow. "Rocks? What do you mean, rocks?" So Thomas opened up his backpack a little and showed him. Inside were rocks of all different sizes and shapes, big ones, small ones, smooth ones, jagged ones. He said quietly, "These are all the rocks people have thrown at me over the years. The insults, the lies, the cheap shots, the betrayals. I pick them up and I keep them. I can't seem to throw them away." The old man looked at him with kind, knowing eyes and said softly, "And why do you keep them, son?" Thomas shrugged, his voice barely above a whisper. "I don't know, man. I just know that when someone hurts me, it cuts deep. And I feel like I have to hold on to it. Like if I let it go, it means it didn't matter." The old man smiled gently. I see. Well, how about you walk with me for a bit? They kept going up the trail together, side by side, not saying much. Then, after a few minutes, the old man bent down and picked up 2 small stones from the ground. He held them up so Thomas could see. "These 2 stones," he said, "they're exactly the same." He put one down on the trail and handed the other one to Thomas. "Now listen carefully," the old man said. "The person who hurt you, they're like this stone on the ground." He pointed at the one he'd dropped. "They threw their words, they did their damage, and then they walked away. That stone just sits there. They don't carry it, they don't think about it, they don't lose sleep over it." Then he tapped the stone in Thomas's hand. "But this one, the one you're holding, this is your reaction. You chose to pick it up, you chose to carry it. And because of that, your journey gets harder and harder, while the person who hurt you, they're moving on, light as a feather." Thomas stared down at the little rock in his palm. A breeze swept across the trail, rustling the trees. The old man kept going, his voice calm and steady. "Your reaction is your burden, son. Not what they did, not what they said. You're the one who added the weight. You did that to yourself." Those words hit Thomas like a freight train. For the first time in years, he got it. He'd been collecting rocks that were never his to carry in the first place. Slowly, he opened his hand and let the stone drop. It hit the dirt with a soft thud. They both just stood there for a second, watching it. "How do I stop?" Thomas asked, his voice shaking. "How do I stop carrying all of this?" The old man smiled, rested a hand on Thomas's shoulder, and said, "You leave each rock where it falls. You let it go back to the earth. You let your heart get lighter." Thomas felt his eyes start to burn. His hands were trembling as he slowly slid the backpack off his shoulders. The old man nodded, giving him silent permission. One by one, Thomas started pulling rocks out of the bag. He set some down gently on the ground. He tossed others down the hillside and watched them tumble away. With each one he let go of, he felt a little lighter. His chest loosened up. His breathing got easier. His shoulders straightened out. And for the first time in months, maybe years, Thomas looked up at the sky and actually saw how beautiful it was. Over the next few weeks, Thomas made it a habit. Every time someone said something harsh, every time someone tried to get under his skin, he'd pause, take a breath, and ask himself, "Do I really want to carry this?" Most of the time, the answer was no. He started letting the rocks fall right where they landed. And you know what happened? His whole life changed. He started noticing things again, the way the sunlight hit the water at the lake, the sound of his neighbor's dog barking in the yard, the taste of his morning coffee. He smiled more. He slept better. People even started commenting on how different he seemed, calmer, more present, more alive. And through it all, the old man's words stayed with him like a mantra. Your reaction is your burden. Now here's the practice I promised you, and this is something you can start doing tonight. Before you go to bed, sit down somewhere quiet for just 1 minute. Put your hand over your heart. Think about one thing from today that still feels heavy. Maybe someone said something that stung. Maybe you got embarrassed. Maybe something didn't go the way you hoped. Picture that moment as a rock in your hand. Feel the weight of it. Then say this out loud or in your head. This rock isn't mine. I'm letting it go. Take a slow, deep breath in. And as you breathe out, imagine yourself setting that rock down on the ground. Leave it there. Let it belong to yesterday, not to you. Do this every single night. I'm telling you, it works. Little by little, your heart will get lighter. Your mind will get clearer. And slowly but surely, you'll start to feel free again. Here's the truth that most people never figure out. You can't control what other people do, or say you just can't. But you can always control what you carry. Your reaction is the quiet power that shapes your entire life. One moment of staying calm can save your whole day. One rock you choose not to pick up can set your heart free. And when you finally stop holding onto every hurtful word, every petty insult, every painful memory, That's when you realize just how light life can actually be. Real peace doesn't come from other people treating you right. Real peace starts the moment you decide not to pick up the rock. If this story hit home for you, do me a favor, smash that like button, share this video with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Until then, walk light, react smart, and remember, your reaction is your power.